Yes, good afternoon. It is good afternoon. And Tottenham are back. It feels like I feel like we've had a pre-season. It's been that long. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been a long time since our defeat to Wolves. Not a good way to go out on a 2-week break, losing to Wolves at home. But we've got an opportunity today in, I don't want to say a must-win game. I think the phrase is overused, but a game we should be winning. A no excuses game for me. I don't want to see any excuses. Richarlison's missing or Porro's missing. No excuses. This is a Crystal Palace team that when we look at the table in a minute, we'll see that they're down in 13th. 28 points. This is a Crystal Palace team that have only managed to win 7 games all season. They've lost 12. This is a game we should be winning and winning well. No last minute winners. We need to win this game and we need to put on a performance as far as I'm concerned. It's been far too long since Spurs actually put on a 90-minute performance. Newcastle at home would be the one where I would say that we played well for 90 minutes and thoroughly deserved our win. Since then, I think it's been some very up and down performances, some very lackluster performances in there as well, some scrapey wins, some games we should have won but didn't, some games we lost. For me, we've got to get back to actually looking like the team that everyone's been giving Postecoglou the praise for. Now, I know some people won't like me saying that. Some people will not like me saying that at all. But it's the truth, isn't it? We've not been playing well, and we need to go back to playing well. So today's game is a wonderful opportunity. We're facing a Crystal Palace team. I'm just double-checking here. We're facing a Crystal Palace team today that have got no Elise, no Czech Decore, no Guehi, and possibly no Eze. We're not sure. We're not sure on that one. That's to be seen. But this is a Crystal Palace team that, yes, the new manager bounce. And yeah, all of that nonsense. The new manager bounce. They should not be coming to White Hart Lane. I'm going to call it White Hart Lane. They should not be coming to White Hart Lane and beating us in no way, shape or form. I am expecting today a complete domination from start to finish. We're better at ball retention. We're better at the back. We're better up front than they are. There should be no issues. Let's have a look. Let's see who's in the chat. Whilst I do that, put in the chat, what's your immediate reaction for today's game in terms of scoreline? What do you think it's going to be today? Tottenham home to Palace. Let me know what you think the score's going to be. Big up. First of all, yeah, listen, sorry, I did have to rush my dog to the vets. So apologies that it's not 11 a.m. and that we're starting at 12 p.m. So apologies for that. Spurs forever. I said, big up, SAVVA. Big up to you as well. I said, Royal will start. Yeah. I'm going for a very sexy midfield three of Benson, Caller, Celso and Maddison. It won't happen, though. I'd love to see us start creating. Werner, Son and Kulu up top. Well, this is going to be, we'll get into this in a minute, what is the front three going to be? Does Son go up there? Does Werner go through the middle? Does Son or Werner play on the left? Kulu or Johnson on the right? Is anybody else back that we're not sure about? What do you think is going to happen? Finn Rickwood, I said, F it. I should play right wing as Kulu and Johnson can't take on their men properly. I've been practicing crossing at my school, so who knows? Big up Finn. We'll get Finn Rickwood on the right-hand side. So today will be Werner, Son and Rickwood in the team. Big up to you, my friend. Get the Ford Arteta at my club. Said, good evening, SAVVA. A must-win game. London Manager of the Year is hilarious. Yeah, I don't quite understand what metric winning London Manager of the Year was against, but I don't really care about that sort of stuff. So, hey, it is what it is. Big up to Nige at Pure Coys. Big up, Nige. Tell everyone in the chat to smash that like button, Nige. We should be getting to 100 likes ASAP. Jack Herbert's in the house and said, afternoon, SAVVA. A must win today. No excuses. Mate, for sure. I don't want to see any excuses from anybody. That it can't be, oh, but Richarlison didn't play. So what? He's not that good. Verbatim. How you doing, my friend? I said, somebody posted this morning, with Richarlison missing, I'm struggling to see where our goals will come from. I'm sure we will manage somehow. This is a guy who I thought he was absolutely dreadful the last few games. Unfortunately, he's a purple patch player. He'll score a couple of goals in a few games, and then everyone says, oh, see, he is good. He is not a good footballer. We will not miss him one bit. Spurs forever. I said, Ange getting London Manager of the Year is cringe stuff. And in fairness, Ange knows it as well. Yeah, I don't understand what the metric was. As I said, I'm not sure what he won it for. I don't think we've played well. We're losing games at home that we shouldn't be losing. I'm not sure what metric that is on. So we'll see. Big up to Graham 30. Big up to you, my friend. I hope you are well. Good afternoon to Kate Rixham. I hope you're well, Kate. Just under 3 hours till kickoff. I'm not doing a watch along, but I will be doing a show immediately after the game finishes at, it used to be 4:45, but let's be fair, it's more 5 p.m. So I'll be doing a post-match reaction show at 5 p.m. So that way we can all watch the game. We can all watch the game in peace. Joe, it's a good afternoon, Savvva chat. I'm looking forward to the game now. If Richie is out, would like to see Dane Scarlett up front. I can assure you right now, Joe, Postecoglou doesn't do that sort of thing from what we've seen. I would rather that than Werner, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. What do you think? Werner through the middle, Son through the middle. What's he going to do? Spurs forever. I said, totally Savvva, no excuses. Hopefully, can see the excuses being we weren't fully match fit. I mean, listen, we've had 2 weeks off. The players should be raring to go. I want to see from minute 1 to minute 90, domination, 3-4-0. I want to see a game where this is a team that Arsenal battered this lot 5-0. Brighton put 4 past them. This is a team that concede goals. Finn has gone with a 2-0 win to Spurs. Nicky's gone with a 4-1. Get the fraud. Arteta at my club has gone with a 3-0 to Tottenham, and that's from an Arsenal fan. 2-1. We always concede. We do always concede, don't we? Let's be fair. If you're Glasner and you've looked at Spurs today, what are you saying? Sit back, hit them on the counter-attack. Now, whether or not they've got the players to hurt us on the counter-attack, we shall see. But when you look at the pace of Ayew, you look at the pace of Edouard, you look at if Eze's playing, it's going to be an interesting game, but one that we should win. Nige has said, smash those likes, everyone. I want a good performance today and a 3-0 win. Yeah, I was speaking to Sean earlier from Spurs Talk Show, and I said, for me, this has got to be a 4-0, 3-0 job. No excuses anymore. But yeah, that's what Sean and I were talking about earlier. By the way, we're growing in numbers, but we're not growing in likes. Only 40 likes. Smash that like button, people. Stay humble, has said 3-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Verbatim has said, I always think we'll concede a goal, so I'll take a 3-1. Big up to Daniel, who's a Man City fan. Big up to you and you lot to beat Man United tomorrow to keep them away from us, please. That would be nice. And I think you'll batter them tomorrow, by the way. Tony Rodriguez, big up my friend, has said his team today is Vicario, Dogi, Van der Ven, Romero and Royale, Bentancur, Maddison and Sarr with Werner, Son and Kulu. I think it will be that team as well. If I'm brutally honest, I think it will be that team as well. Possibly Basuma over Bentancur, but I don't know. Neither of them are in good form, so we'll see. Joe has gone with a 3-0 solid win. He said he won't be surprised if we struggle in the first 30 to 45 minutes, then our quality players take over. Yeah, wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely if we actually went out in the first half and just stuck 2 or 3 goals in and made it comfortable, rather than what we always do, which is give ourselves a mountain to climb? Herbal has said, big up Savvva, good luck with your game today. I think you'll take the win. 3-1 to Spurs is my prediction. Yeah, lots of people going with the 3-0, 3-1 prediction. Daniel Harris, big up, bro, has said, big up Savvva, not confident at all in this team. Desperately need a big game from Captain Sonny, but I predict Palace to be all over us. We get dominated so often now. Interesting. Anyone agree with Daniel? I think we're going to dominate today, Daniel. We have to. If we don't, I'm embarrassed, but I think we've got to. Yeah, how can you hand out awards for a season? I don't know. I really don't know what these awards are about. Costa del Spurs said, hi, Sav, hope your dogs are okay. No watch-alongs today. Getting fed up with expressions now. Look, no, I'm not doing a watch-along on the game. I'm doing a show before now and then a show at 5 p.m. afterwards so we can talk about the game. And the dog, yeah, has got a bad knee and a bad hip, so he's just got some painkillers. But he was crying a lot this morning, so I had to push this back. Stay humble. No, we did that one, sorry. Tony has said, I never knew the London Football Awards meant so much to the Arsenal fan base until last night. What a bunch of da-da-da-da-da. They are losing their minds. Yeah, listen, I don't really care about those awards, but hey, it is what it is. Skr, big up to you. I said, much love. Can't wait to see the game. We must win. Sunny through the middle is exactly what I want. Well, listen, this is the sort of game where someone like Son has to stand up and be counted. Yeah, this is where someone like Son needs to come out, grab a couple of goals, grab a hat-trick, and actually show why he gets all the plaudits. You know, I was really disappointed with him against Wolves. And the reason I've singled him out is because I expect better from him. I don't expect better from the others. So we need to see him step up today. Big up to Phil B. How many Phils? Loads of Phils. Big up to you, my friend. Skr would love a clean sheet. Yes, we do need a clean sheet, don't we? Let's have a look. When did we last have a clean sheet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got one clean sheet in our last 10, and that was against Burnley at home in the FA Cup. It doesn't really scream confidence at the back, does it? For everyone who, remember all those people who said we had one of the best defences in the league? I love those. Honestly, our fans give me so much pleasure. It's so funny. He's very, very funny. Video complete. Sofiane has said, morning, Sarah. What is the best way to play? Put Werner left wing and Sonny up front, or put Sonny left wing and Werner up front. Let me know in the chat. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I don't rate Werner anywhere, if I'm brutally honest. But surely against a Palace team that concede goals, he can grab one or two, can't he? Surely. Bellingham has said, been waiting to get to 50 points since January. If we don't win today, I give up on the club. Honestly, no more injury excuses. Yeah, listen, the injury excuses for me were blown out of all proportion. And since the players have come back, we've not looked really any better. So it's blown all those theories out the water. All the people that would come on and say, oh, if Maddison had played today, we would have won. Oh, if Romero had played today, we would have won. Well, they're all back at the moment, and we still don't look good. Kate has said she's worried about this game with the high line. We always let goals in. Need to play a good game for 90 minutes for a change. Yeah, I agree. Listen, the high line, I'd like to think against Crystal Palace, there's enough there to get through this game. I'll be really disappointed if we don't, if I'm brutally honest. I'll be really disappointed to not win today's game, and questions would have to be asked. The upper tier, big up to you, has said, big up SAVVA in the chat. Hope you're well. Glasner, Palace looking good. Well, look, Glasner's been there one game against Burnley. This is a much bigger test. New manager bounce? Yes? No? I don't think so, but we'll see. I'll be absolutely gutted if we don't win today, and I'll have no excuses for the team. Finn said, no excuses for me today. If we don't win, then questions need to be asked. Agreed. ACDC has said the metric is to give Spurs a trophy. Yeah. Big up, Bill. Say, yay, Spurs are playing. Big up, Bill. Listen, come on. I think we've got to score a few today and win this comfortably, right? Video complete. I said, Will Lancashire over Dane Scarlett. Look, we've seen Postecoglou does not want to play or give any of these kids any minutes. And then you look down the road at what Jurgen Klopp is doing with Liverpool, and we're miles off it. They're playing kids galore. Yes, I would absolutely take Gyökeres. Absolutely, yes. If the lads can't get up for Palace at home after a 2-week break coming off a loss, then nothing will motivate us. I agree that there should be no excuses. From minute one, I want to see them get out there and really, really take the game to Crystal Palace. That I think is the least we can expect. Where are we? John Clark, good afternoon to you. Said afternoon, SAVVA, 3-2 the score. like Ange, but that made no sense. Yeah, yeah. Like my mate was like, "Oh, how good is it that he won the Manager of the Year?" And I was like, "Manager of the Year for what? Like, what's he done?" But hey, it is what it is. Spurs forever. I said Johnson against the low block is pointless. That's why Kulu has to start, even though he's not exactly playing great, but he's better than Johnson. Oh, yeah, today I asked the question in the poll. I put a poll up saying who should play on the right today, and the three answers were Johnson, Kulu, or someone else. And Johnson has got 21%, Kulu 64%, and someone else 14%. Who is this someone else? Who do you want to see there? Let me know. Let me know. Kate has said, get the likes to the lovely SAVVA and subscribe. Absolutely smash that like button, people. We should be on 100 likes by now, and we're not. Smash that like button, and I'll be back for you as well at 5 p.m. So I'll see you all in about 4 hours. Spurs forever said we really need to win to keep the title charge going. Oh, where are all those people? Remember the ones? Remember the ones? Coming for SAVVA's the most negative Spurs fan. SAVVA doesn't really support Spurs. SAVVA's negative. SAVVA doesn't think we're in a title race. Just the 13 points off the top at the moment. Just the 13. But look, today is a big game because if we don't win this and then Villa beat Luton at 5:30, the gap could be 8 points. So we need to make sure that the gap is not 8 points to fourth by the end of the night. And that's a very real reality. And I'll show you. Look, if you have a look at the Premier League table, let's share that. There we are. You can see there. Look, Aston Villa, 5 points above us. Yes, we've got a game in hand. But if Villa were to win today and we don't, that gap could be 7 or 8 points, which is a 3-game swing with 12 to play. A 3-game swing. So if Villa won 7 of their last 12, we'd have to win 10 of our last 12. So this is a big game in terms of that chase for fourth, depending on how important people see fourth. So we'll see. Big game. Big game today. And then tomorrow you've got Man United away at Man City. Hopefully Man City can do us a favour and beat Man United to keep them away from us. So we could either be 8 points behind Villa and level with Man United tomorrow, or we could be 6 points clear of Man United and only 2 points behind Villa. So it all depends on the swing of today's game and tomorrow's game. Let me get rid of that screen. Sorry, please bear with me. Where are we? We are here. Daniel Harris said we always do these 3-1, 3-0, 4-1 predictions. We all know what happens. I agree. At some point, though, we've got to put in a performance to show what all this hype is. For me, I think Ange and his style have been getting so much hype all season, but without the substance. Today, I want to see some substance. 2-1 Spurs today. A scrappy win. Big up D and B. I hope you're well, my friend. Video complete. Said yes to Gokares, who has got €100 million release clause, by the way. €100 million release clause. Daniel Levy, don't do 100 million. Bill, just believe. Just believe. Dyer moved to Bayern, now permanent. I still can't believe that Eric Dyer managed to get a move to Bayern Munich. But hey, it is what it is. Big up, stay humble. Daniel has said, I'm going to stick my neck out and be uber positive for a 2-2 draw. Big up on you. Kafkov Gaming says Spurs is rubbing off on the dog. GBC, where have you been? I've not seen you for a while. How you doing, bro? Hope you're well. So I'm trying to make sure today I get to every comment. So please bear with me. The multi-channel has said absolutely no excuses today. None. Completely agree with you. Spurs forever. Half agree with Daniel, but people saying we will score 3-4 goals. I don't see it at all. Not creating chances or look like creating chances at all. Score 2 at the most. I hope you're wrong, but I tend to agree with you. It just feels like we've stopped playing, really, doesn't it? GBC has gone with 3-1 and he thinks Son's going to get a hat-trick. Phil B with a Phil Army. Video Complete wants to see Werner left wing and Sonny up front. Interested to know who thinks that. And Daniel said, saw someone mention a clean sheet. What is that exactly? Not familiar with this term. Yeah, I just don't think we're as good as people think we are at the back. I've seen a lot of hype for Porro and Adoggy and Van der Ven and Romero. I just don't quite think we're as good as some think these players are. Angers has said, can someone explain to me how Ange to manage it? No idea. Stay humble was asked when the Celso's back. I don't know about that either. And GBC said Lo Celso is already back. Well, there we go. He's back. Big up to 7SC. It's his birthday, everybody. Come on, everybody. Happy birthday to 7SC. I'm not going to sing it, but everybody can say happy birthday in the chat. And whilst you're saying happy birthday, please do smash the like button on the show as well. We've got 68 likes. There's over 220 of you in here. We should be on 100, 150 likes. So smash that button, please. He said, let's hope the boys can pull off a win to make it a good one. Stuck at work while listening to you. Sorry about that. Sorry that you have to listen to me. Big up to you. Big up to you, ACDC as well. Angus, look at Arsenal like you've won. You haven't won anything yet. What are you talking about? Mario with a super chat. Big up, Mario has said, big up, SAVVA, and everybody in the chat. Finally, Spurs are playing. Mario, your generosity is always welcome. And yes, it does feel like a very long time since we played a game of football, doesn't it? It really, really does. But thank you, Mario. You're always very, very generous, and we really do appreciate you. So thank you so much. Nigel said 100% questions will be asked regarding Ange if we don't get 3 points today. I can't see it happening, though. Madders will have a blinder. Well, Madders, after the last performance, needs to put in a good one, doesn't he? Because I thought he was very poor against Wolves. Him and Son really, really disappointed me against Wolves. And their games at home that those two quality players should be ripping up. Angus has gone with 2-1 to Palace. No shock there. Get the forward out of my club and said, I'll be very surprised if he does not play Dragosin if Porro is too injured, as he did promise him game time. Well, so far he's not started him. So it's worrying. I want to see him start a game, but we'll see. Video Complete thinks Eze will play. I think Palace will be hoping he plays as well. We'll be hoping he doesn't. Good player, Eze. Good player. Big up to my man, Mahfouz. Big up to you, my friend. I hope you're well. But Amin has said, Ange will not make it at Spurs. He will lift trophies at other big clubs like Liverpool. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he's ready for a Liverpool. The way I see, I think he's naive. I think he's a good manager, but I think he's naive. I think you wouldn't be able to get away with these sort of things at a Liverpool or a City or a United or whatever. You wouldn't be able to. You just wouldn't be able to get away with it. But I don't know what he's done that makes people think he should get a Liverpool job, but we'll see. Bill said he voted someone else. I thought it was a new player. Yeah, Mr. Someone Else. Mark says, SAVVA to take your meds. SAVVA go. SAVVA go take your meds. Okay. Has somebody prescribed me something? Okay, big up to you, Mark. There's always someone weird in the chat, isn't there? Tony has said, we need to trust our youth. I want to see Donnelly and Mikey. He doesn't do it. I think we've seen that. Nigel said it's so good to have Spurs back. And you, SAVVA. Thanks, Nigel. The last few weeks have been boring. I haven't even had any dates. Nigel, get back on those apps, mate. Get dating again. Daniel has said, do you think our players lack fitness or are just lazy or a bit of both? Often I think they just look like they can't be asked. I just think we've got a very, I don't know, I feel like we've settled into a really comfortable way of playing where there's no urgency. That's what I would say. Where you know, we have a lot of the football, but don't really do a lot with it. GBC has said, how are Man United sixth? I don't know. But, I mean, they're having a terrible season, apparently, and they're 3 points below us, and we're amazing. Finn, there's a question for you, SAVVA. Why do you think Klopp has the balls to play Liverpool's youngsters and Ange doesn't? Is a psychological problem in the academy? I don't know. I mean, hats off to Klopp. He's always brought through youngsters. He's always chucking them in. We didn't even when we had an injury crisis, which was you know, it is what it is. But yeah, absolutely, Nigel. It is a big chance for us to pull very clear of Man United, because I do think City will beat them tomorrow. But it is what it is. Donna Cullen is in the house and said, Wagwan, Mr. SAVVA, you don't know how much I've missed you. I searched the deserts, mountains, 7 oceans and continents to find you. Big up to you, Donna. Love you too. GBC has said, I want to see Lo Celso get some game time because players like Sarr are kind of useless against low blocks. I do think he needs to try something different at some point. What he's been doing lately hasn't really seemed to be working. Big up to Tigaro, who's been a channel member for 7 months now. Big up to you, my friend. Has said, morning, SAVVA, Werner, Son and Kulu up front for me. I think it will be that as well. I do agree with you. So thank you so much for that, Tigaro, and I hope you are well. And 7SC has gifted on his birthday a Football Heritage membership. And that membership went to, let me see if I can find it. Hang on, let's see if I can find out who that membership went to. That membership went to, can't see if anyone's got it. Anyone, let me know. Let me know who that went to. It just says that it's gifted, but it won't show me who at the moment. I don't know if it's a glitch with YouTube. So I'm trying to get to as many as possible. Where are we here? Michael wouldn't start Kulu. He can't play on the right wing. Just cuts in all the time. Spurs forever, said Dyer. What a legend. Listen, to be fair, he's gone from 5th or 6th choice at Spurs to starting for Bayern Munich. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. Video complete. I agree. I would rather Eric Lamela over Johnson. I honestly think Brennan Johnson was a dreadful signing, but hey, that's just me. It's probably the worst Bayern team in our lifetime. Listen, they're having a bad year. They'll come back next year. They've still got better players than Eric Dyer. There you go. Rafa has said Dyer was transferred to Bayern to keep Kane company. Plain and simple. Smash that like button, people. If you do want to do a super chat as well, they are always welcome, but the likes are free, so please do smash the likes. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. YouTube has been taking a lot of subscribers away from YouTubers lately, so I don't know what's happening, so check that you're still subscribed. John London has said, let's hope we've spent plenty of time practicing defending set pieces. Yes, definitely something that we need to concentrate on. DMB has said we need Sonny up front. It's the best option we have today. Yeah, let's hope he can get in behind and grab a couple of goals. Video complete. There is no way Lautaro Martinez leaves Inter Milan to come to Tottenham Hotspur. I think we need to realise that. He's never going to leave Inter Milan to come to Tottenham. If he leaves Inter Milan, he's going to one of the big clubs. We know that, surely. Surf South has said Dragon to kick the winning goal. Fair enough. Where are we? Yeah, happy birthday, 7SC. Surf South said, Ange, one manager of London, as Lego head is a tool. Jesus Christ. SAVVA, would you take Kolo Muani? Yeah, I'd take Kolo Muani. He's a good player. Yeah, I mean, he's not my first choice, but yeah, I'd take him. Sayum said, come on, Palace. Eze will score the winner. Don't. I've got weird visions of that happening. Finn said, maybe Moyes deserved it. Well, at least Moyes has won a trophy. So, Rafa said, can you imagine how well Basuma would be doing if he played for the Gunners instead? You are only as good as the team you play for. I think the thing for me is he's very in and out as a player, Basuma. I think he either looks awful or brilliant, and there doesn't seem to be a lot in between. GBC has said we should do what Leverkusen do to stop the counterattacks. They have the midfielders stall the opposition wingers until their wing-backs can cover them. Our midfield needs to do the same. Well, I know our midfielders needs to do something. Where are we? Posty Platter says, Sama, how come you're not on Side or Terry Show anymore? Not for me. Not for me. Too many childish people in the chat, and it's the tribalism. Just not for me. Good channels. Got nothing but love for both Side and Terry, but just not for me. Someone wins a game on the Saturday, they're the best team ever. They lose the next weekend after, and the headline is, oh, they're terrible and the manager needs to be sacked. It's all too knee-jerk for me. Sarr is one of the only useful players against low box. Most useless is Kulu. I'm not sure. Sarr for me is good, but is he good against a low block? I don't know. Look, have that chat. Have in the chat. Have that chat. 101 man or 101 man, whichever way you want to say it, has said, not a fan of Kulu. So slow and predictable. By the way, yeah, please do check. I was having this chat with Sean earlier. YouTube seems to be taking subscribers from people every night at the moment. So just check that you are still subscribed. If you haven't already, then please do. And the link is there. So please do. If not, don't worry. It might not have got rid of you, but it might have done. Nigel said, I think we could have prime Milan defence, Maldini, Baresi, Costa Curta, and still be woefully open at the back. It's not the players, but the tactics that's shocking. I agree and I disagree. I just think that for me, Porro and Udogie give the ball away far too much, bringing it out of the back. And for me, Romero and Van der Ven get caught a bit at the back. They do get caught, but again, tactics don't help that. Yeah, I don't know. But we're in a kind of cycle with Spurs fans at the moment where if you say anything about Postecoglou and his tactics, people attack you, and it's like this kind of cancel culture, isn't it? Where you can't say anything. But what you can say is smash the like button, people. Come on, you tight people, smash that like button. We should have over 150 likes by now. Please do that. Surf South said he would rather anyone over Johnson. Well, look, let me know, guys. What do you think the team's going to be today? Is there anyone that thinks Dragoshin will start instead of Royale at right back if Porro's out? Is there anyone that thinks he might play at centre back? Does anyone see any way in which Lo Celso starts in centre mid? Does anyone see Johnson starting over Kulu on the right, or Werner and Son swapping it up top? Let me know in the chat. Daniel Harris has said, would you be worried if Dragoshin doesn't play? I know Anne said he makes final calls on transfers, but it feels a lot like Conte and Spence. Mate, I don't know. I don't know. But who spends £30 million on a player in the January window and then doesn't give them a single start by March? It does feel strange. I don't know other clubs that do that. They give them a game, but I don't know. I do find a lot of what Ange does a little bit strange at times, but hey, it is what it is. Niall said, how come you not uploaded or streamed much recently? Have I been hiding? Hiding? No, there hasn't really been anything to talk about. Spurs haven't played for ages, and I didn't want to be one of those channels who streams for the sake of streaming. Video complete. Who would you play at right back? I would put Romero or Dragoshin there. I would instead of Royale. That's what I would do. I'm not the manager. Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. If I copy, just going to see if Stell is going to join me for a little bit so we can talk about the game. Compose. Let's send that to my email. There we go. There's Richard SAVVA. StreamYard. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. Copy URL. There we go. Bear with me 1 second, people. There we go. So, yeah, let me know if you've only just joined. Let us know what your score prediction is today. A lot of 3-0s, a lot of 3-1s. And then in other games today in the Premier League, there's a big schedule today, which is unusual. There's 7 Premier League games today. And those games are Brentford at home to Chelsea in a West London derby. Everton at home to West Ham. Fulham home to Brighton. Newcastle are home to Wolves. Nottingham Forest host top of the table Liverpool. Spurs at home to Palace. and Aston Villa go away to Luton in the 5:30 kickoff. And then you've got the Arsenal on Monday night. And tomorrow you've got the Manchester derby. And tomorrow you've got the Manchester derby. And also in the Premier League, you've got Burnley versus Bournemouth in what must be described as a must-win game for Burnley, if they're not already down, not mathematically. Big up to Gary Officer. So whoever starts up front needs to be aggressive and take it to Crystal Palace. We need an early goal and to not go into a lull mid-game. Completely agree with you. Spurs forever. I'll tell you what, Inter Milan are a top team. They are one of the best teams I've seen this season. I think they have been phenomenal. I think they've been absolutely phenomenal. But, you know, so where are we? Lo Celso has some creativity, so having him play behind Madders might help breaking down a low block. Yes, he will miss passes, but so does our midfielders. Look, I don't think there's any standouts in our centre mid, so I don't really mind who plays centre mid as long as it's not Højbjerg and Skip. But we'll see. We'll see. D&B Forever has said our front three is the problem. Against low blocks, no player can take on a man. Listen, I tend to agree with you. I really, really do tend to agree with you. Spurs Forever said, Sarr, not good, creating low blocks. But on the counter-attack, he covers space. And welcome to the show, Stelios. You all right?
I did, Savvy. You all right? Yeah, I'm good, brother. I'm good. Yeah, good. Just I'm at home. I'm waiting for someone to drop by so I can jump in my car and go to the game. So, nice.
So what are you thinking about today then? I know we talked in our WhatsApp group earlier, and a lot of people in here are saying we're going to struggle because we've been struggling lately. Other people think that this is a game that we should be battering them. Where do you sit on this?
I expect us to win today. I'm confident as well with it because I think teams like Brentford's and Wolves, they're typically quite well organised. Okay, recently Brentford's defence has just been abysmal, but Wolves are very well organised. They've been organised all season. And when they get compact, they're quite good at it. And they showed it against Spurs. At no point did they move up. Did they get pulled out of shape? They held it together. And that's why we couldn't break them down. Plus, they're really good on the counter-attack. They've been doing it to teams in a number of games. So Wolves was a different proposition. I actually was worried about the Wolves game. And I predicted, I think we'll draw against Wolves. I never thought we'd lose because I thought we'd have enough to at least not lose. But I don't think Palace have got enough, SAVVA. I don't think they're a good team. I'm sure one of their top players will be back and cause us problems, but they're not the disciplined team that Wolves are. And I know their manager's good. I know he's won the Europa Cup with Frankfurt, but they beat a Burnley team last week that were down to 10 men. Everyone's battering Burnley.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the same type of team that we should be worried about. If Spurs don't go and put in a good performance and win by at least 2 goals, I will be furious with Spurs. Like, genuinely say to myself, I actually said yesterday on the show, if Spurs don't win today, I'm not going to another game this season because I'm not going to watch it. I just can't watch it. And that's how I feel. So I expect us to win 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with you. Something that we hear a lot is new manager bounce. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It was, if you were Glasner, and somebody said, right, your first game as manager is going to be against the bottom of the table or second bottom of the table. Don't win games of football. They're going to go down to 10 men. I think it was in the first half or whatever. It's a huge difference between that and Tottenham Hotspur. But what people in the chat have been talking about still is the need to start fast today. You know, all of our games lately, even when we've won, have been very much going down to the wire, having massive lulls during the game where the other team gets on top. We need to come out firing out the traps. We've had a 2-week break. It's against a poor Palace team missing Decore, Guehi, Elise. There can't be any excuses today, can there?
No, I fully agree. That's why I've said if we don't win today, I'm not going again. There's no excuses today. They've had a break. Most of the players are back. Okay, the wing-back situation is tricky, but you know what? It's just a situation you have to deal with. Palace are missing their best players. They've got to deal with it. I'm kind of glad Richarlison isn't playing because what I've noticed when I go to the game, SAVVA, is when we attack, when the ball comes to him, it either breaks down or his distribution to feed it to the forward players because he drops a bit to receive it.
Yeah.
It breaks down in that part as well. And what happens is when you're so heavy on attack and you're a bit, I don't want to say naive, but you're not as interested in defending, should I say? You're very much an attacking team. Let the defenders just deal with it. You've got to take the chances when you attack. And if you keep wasting them because it breaks down, then what happens is if the other team get a goal, now you're under pressure. All those attacking phases, because same for Aston Villa, we were all over them. West Ham, all over them for like 20 minutes. You don't take your chances. They hit you with one, then they drop back, and now you're in trouble. So with Richarlison not playing, I feel that the attack won't break down as much, and we've got more chance of getting the first goal. Like you said, start quick. And if we get that first goal, now Palace have to come at us. That's what we want. The space opens up. Now we've got you. But where we don't take those chances and the other team score first, it's literally panic stations for the next 70 minutes on the pitch. And you're sitting there as a fan watching it thinking, what am I actually watching? What am I watching? This is awful. So, yeah, I agree. We have to start fast, 100%.
So for you then, look, other than Richarlison, my understanding is that the other forwards are now all fit. So this now begs the question. You've got Timo Werner, who he brought in, Brennan Johnson, who he brought in, Kulu, he brought in, Son, who's the captain and is 100% going to play, possibly Solomon. What's your front three out of that five? I know it's not like I've given you a great option there, but what's your front three today from that five?
I think most of the names you've mentioned I don't even like. So
yeah, mate, I know. I always say Son and two others. Like I don't really care, but
yeah, spot on.
Werner through the middle, or is he going to go for Son through the middle?
He's so bad in front of goal, though. He's so bad. And his crossing tries to take your kneecaps off. It's just, I look, if those players are fit, I would like to see Kulu, Son, Solomon, given what we've got, right? It's not ideal. I'd like to see that because at least Kulu and Solomon can take on a man. Whether they are consistent or good enough, that's a different conversation. But at least that's two wide players that will take on a man. Brennan Johnson, even with his pace, he doesn't take on a man. Timo rarely takes on a man. So I'd like, obviously, like you said, Son, and then Solomon and Kulu is probably what I would go with. Do you know what? I'd even, and I can't believe I'm going to say it. I'd even rather, if you're going to make a sub and Kulu or Solomon comes off, I'd rather Brian Hill come on because at least he has the ability to take on a man, even though he's flimsy. Yeah. I just can't stand watching players purely depend on pace. It drives me crazy. It's like kids' football. Just hit the ball and chase it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. Like, there's a difference, isn't there, about pace with the ball and pace without the ball. And I think that's where people get very confused as to, oh, Brennan Johnson's quick. He's perfect for the system. Well, you're only perfect for a system if you are talented. Like it can't just be, oh, Usain Bolt could play on the right wing because he's quick. Do you know what I mean? But in midfield, let's go to the midfield. It's not been clicking. Now, a lot of that, there was a lot of injuries in midfield. But lately, we've had Maddison and Sarr and Basuma and Bentancur. They're all fit. And it's still not clicking. And he's changing it around a lot. And it's not working. What do you do today? And why has it not been clicking?
I think it's players coming back from long-term injuries. And they're just not up to the pace of it. And I don't just mean fitness. I mean the groove of a game, just the turning this way, receiving, opening up, playing it, just that flow that you get into as a football player, that only comes with actual matches because you can't replicate that in training because in training, no one's going to come in and put one on you. No one's going to come in and really be aggressive. Training has competitive elements, but it's nothing like a match. A match, that's why in a match, you have a referee. In training, there's no referee. There's a reason for that. Yeah. One is highly competitive and someone needs to call the shots. Training, the coach just acts as the referee. Yeah. So I think that's a big reason, SAVVA. I also think some players just, maybe they're not what we think we are. And I think one of those players for me is Basuma. He was so good, but there's only so long you can keep saying, "Oh, but that was a bad game." Oh, but give it
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And he's not been
At
out with
some point,
injury.
you've got to have consistency. I
Yeah,
think what
yeah.
happens for me, Stel, is we've seen this for years. We've seen this for years. There's too many, for me, average footballers that every week there's an excuse for them as to, oh, this was just an off game. Oh, he's just in bad form. Oh, he's come back from injury. The top players, very rarely do you have those conversations about. The top players, it's very rare when they have an off game. We, for me, I think we've got some good midfielders still. I think we've got some good midfielders, but notice my emphasis on the word good. Like, they're good, but they're not what Liverpool have got. They're not what City have got. Even, dare I say it, they're not Declan Rice. They're not Thomas Partey. They're not these players. So is this an area you still feel needs to be improved?
Yeah, massively. I actually a couple of weeks ago on your show on a Thursday, I said I think we need to rebuild the midfield. We've got one number 6, proper number 6 in Højbjerg, and he doesn't have the attributes for the way we want to play football. For a Mourinho team, he's perfect, and he actually did well under Mourinho. So Højbjerg in a Conte Mourinho team, perfect player, but not for Angeball. So you've got a 6 that doesn't suit the system. Then you've got 5 number 8s. Yeah, we've got 5 8s.
Yeah.
Only
so who
one
are
or
you going with
two-
that? What? Skip, Bentancur, Basuma, Lo Celso,
and Sarr.
and Son. Wow.
5 number 6s. Yeah. I don't think Sarr's a 6. And then you've got one proper number 10, Maddison.
Yeah.
So we need 2 new number 6s. We need another number 10. So that's 3 midfielders. And then of the 8, keep 2. I'd probably keep Bentancur and Basuma only if he has a good end to the season.
Yeah,
Otherwise, Basuma, well, Sarr's young and up and coming. He can be developed, I guess. So for me, the midfield is lacking massively. And I think because we're so focused and desperate on bringing in new wingers.
Yeah.
We've just assumed as a fan base, the midfield's okay. No, it's not. The midfield's a problem. We've just been getting away. We've just been getting away with it. We need, in my view, minimum 3 new midfielders, ideally 4. Yeah, and that's crazy because we've got like 7, 8 midfielders.
But again, it's crazy when you look at how many forwards we've signed in the last 2-3 windows, and we're still talking every week about needing new forwards. Whether you want to call them strikers, wingers, whatever. I'm just talking about people who play in that final third. We bought in Kulu, just under Postecoglou. We bought in Kulu, Werner, Johnson, and Solomon, and Valise. We've signed 5 forward players. Not one of them I would be bothered about if they weren't wearing a Spurs shirt next season. I
think Kulu was signed last season, wasn't he? Kulu wasn't signed by.
Well, no, he wasn't obligatory. He was optional, an Ange trick. But either way, even if you take Kulu out of that, he still brought in 4 forward players, and none of them really set the world alight.
Yeah, you're right, SAVVA. I've said it so many times, and this is when you get called every name under the sun for saying it, and you're told you've got to be patient. These things take time, and no, they don't take time. If you sign the right player, it doesn't take time. When you signed Maddison, it didn't take time. When we signed Vicario, it didn't take time. If you sign the right player, it doesn't take time. They come in 2-3 games, they find their feet, off you go. If we signed like Valise, might take time, but that's why we only paid £5 million for him. He's cheap, he's young. Let's see where he is in 2 years' time. But with Timo Werner, why am I waiting? Brennan Johnson, why am I waiting? Who's the other one you said? There was one more wide player. Solomon. Solomon's been injured. He's been injured, right? Yeah. So,
but even then, this is a guy that struggled to make the 11 for Fulham. So I'm not knocking him. He looks like he's a decent player, but again, he looks to me like he's an impact player. He looks like he's one of those that every now and then will do something. What we need those forwards that every game scare defenders. Even when Martinelli and Saka have bad games, they're in the game. They're getting a lot of the football. They're trying to take their men on. They're driving at defences. But taking this back to the midfield, what's your midfield 3 for today? If you're picking.
Is Lo Celso fit or is he injured?
And according to let's have a look. According to my summary, Spurs have it's just Richarlison, Sessegnon, and Solomon out injured.
Charlton Sessegnon. Okay, if Lo Celso's fit, I would honestly go Maddison, Lo Celso, Sarr. I think Basuma, he's just inconsistent at the moment. Bentoncourt, I'd like him to come on and play half a game because I don't think he can play 90 minutes. He's not in his groove. They're the three I'd like to see play today. Højbjerg, no. Skip, no. If Bentoncourt was fit, and properly at the races, then I'd go Maddison, Bentoncourt, so. But Bentoncourt isn't at the races.
Before we go to the back four, do you think there's going to be any surprises in the midfield or forward line today? The way, I think Klopp has been the shining example of this. Of if you throw in some kids, some of them rise to the top. Like some of them come out there and look like they've been playing there all their life. Do you think?
Yeah, do you know what, Sav? I'm a little bit on the fence with the whole Klopp thing. I'll tell you why. I don't think he had a choice. Because of the amount of injuries, he was forced to play the kids. I don't think he did it because he felt they were ready. I think he was forced to do it. And what I will say about Klopp is the way he managed it and gave those kids the belief, the man management side of it, I'll give Klopp 10 out of 10 for that. The way he went about it.
But even throughout this season.
I don't think he tactically said, right, let me bring in these kids. I think he was forced into it.
Sure, but we've had the situation where we could have been forced into it, and we were still picking Dyer, Royale, Davis, Skip. We've had the opportunity. But do you see?
I agree.
Do you see one of our kids getting chucked in for 90 minutes, or just one? No.
I don't. This Project Youth is a myth that's been circulated around our fan base. I don't think we've got any interest in bringing through these academy kids. We would have done it by now, because the further up the table you get, the harder it gets, the less chance you're going to give a youngster a time, because you can't afford now to drop points or lose a game. This season, we can afford to do stuff.
Yeah.
If we're not going to do it this season, I don't see how we do it.
I agree.
And like you said, we've had chances to bring on kids for 20, 30 minutes. But like when we were 4-0 up against Newcastle, why are you bringing on Højbjerg? Bring on a young player. So we've had the chances to do it. So for me, I don't think we will. Maybe some of the young players we've signed, like Bergvall, maybe he might feature because we spent a lot of money on him. And that says to me he's actually going to be a first-team player when he comes back from his loan spell, because we had to loan him back. But these Donnellys, Mikey Moores, Scarlett, Santiago's, I don't think any of them, Alfie Devine, I don't think any of them are going to play for Spurs, SAVVA. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Do you know what? I just feel like, as a fan, it's been a bit flat lately. Let's be fair. The football's been flat. I think it's one of those things where you see a youngster in your team and you go, yeah, go on. I'm really going to get behind this young lad. Do you know what I mean? I really want to see it. And obviously the last 2-3 games for Liverpool has been different because they've been decimated. But even throughout this season, when you see that Liverpool will play Harvey Elliott in centre mid, they'll put Connor Bradley at right back, just chuck straight in. Go on, son. Keep going. Keep your place in the team. In the Europa League, they were playing people like Doak and Clark. Now they're bringing through Dans and Kumas. And I'm sitting there thinking, if they can play, I believe I saw somewhere the other day that they've played this season. I think 12 players from the youth team have played this season alone. And you think, I remember us giving Donnelly about 4 minutes. And I don't know, it just feels like something could be done to give a bit of a bit of urgency, energy, a bit of.
All right, let me share something with you, okay? So for people watching the show, if you don't know, I get to go to the Spurs Academy and Training Centre 3-4 times a year because I work in coaching. I develop young players and I try and get them signed to pro clubs where I can. Okay, it's not easy, but once in a while it lands. Anyway, I've met Simon Davies, the new academy director. He's top drawer. He knows exactly what he's doing. And I spoke to one of the recruitment guys there last week because there's a player that I'm hoping will get a chance at Spurs on a trial. And I got chatting to them, and basically this is what they said to me, SAVVA, right? Take it for what you want, but 9 times out of 10, it all comes true. I predicted that the last academy director will be removed and replaced because they weren't happy with him, and it happened. They said to me, I asked them, are these youngsters going to come through? Like, are we going to see them play? The coaches think they deserve a chance. Simon Davies himself doesn't think they're ready. Ange definitely doesn't think they're ready. Simon Davies and Ange have got a really good relationship, by the way. Similar to when McDermott and Poch had that good relationship. So that relationship's back in place now. That's been missing for 4 years, manager, academy director relationship, which is a good thing, right? So Ange and Simon Davies don't think these kids are ready yet. The coaches that coach them below Simon Davies, under the instruction of Simon Davies, they think a couple of them deserve a chance, like you and I have been discussing. My argument, and I said it back to them, is, but you don't know until you give them a go. Until you put them in that environment, how do you know? Do you think Jurgen Klopp knew that these 18-year-olds could stand up in a cup final? There's no, you never know until you do it.
There's no way of knowing that. Yeah.
Impossible. So he did it. Guess what? Now everyone's saying, play these kids a bit more. So at Spurs, we're not prepared to do that bit. And that's my argument with them. But then I said, look, what about next season? SAVVA, make of it what you want. They said to me, we very, very much doubt that the youngsters in our academy will break into the first team next season because the conversation's going on, and make of it what you want. Ange is going to seriously try and go for the league title next season. Now, I paused because I've got to be respectful on the phone. And I said to them, are you guys all right over there? Is everything okay? This sounds like you've lost the plot a bit. He goes to me, no, seriously, that's the conversation going on. So if that's what's going to happen, how do you bring through the youngsters? I said, listen, you need at least 8 to 10 top players in the summer to do that. You understand?
Yeah.
SAVVA, make it be what you want. This is why I'm saying I don't think any of these youngsters are going to come through, because Spurs, they are seriously going to try and mount a title challenge next season. And I said to them, we've got Europe as domestic cups. Like if we finish 5th or 4th or 6th this season, the gap you've got to close, plus all these extra games from Europe, how? And they've said to me that that's the conversation. There you go.
Well,
they've lost it. I think they've lost the plot. I think they've lost the plot.
I look forward to 8 to 10 quality players coming in the summer transfer window then and going for a title. But we were in a title race this year, aren't we? We're in a title race this year. We're only 13 points off the top. We could still do it. Big up to Video Complete Sofian, who has just said Szymanski, Mats Vifa, and Ezequiel Fernandez. I'm not sure why you put those names in. Are they players that you would like to see at Spurs? I don't know a lot about Fernandez. I know a bit about Szymanski because when we were linked with him in the January window, I did some research, and I don't mind Mats Vifa. But before we go back to today's selection, it does need to just stop being brilliant youngsters from across Europe, doesn't it? At some point, it's got to be like an established, like we need more Madisons type players. You know what I mean? In different areas, surely, before we keep buying kids.
Look, I think if you're going to buy kids, it's because you've got a long-term project to build up these kids, and then in 3-4 years' time, they all come through. If you're going to play Champions League football next season and you want to win trophies and you want to go for a league title, I don't understand why you would do it. You'd buy 1 or 2 to complement the quality, established, proven adults that you've bought already. So, yeah, for me, SAVVA, we need more Madisons. We need more Heung-min Sons. We need more players of that level. Another Van de Ven. We need grown-up men that can play football with experience, that have not coming to the end of their career, but that they've seen what a league title looks like. They've seen what a domestic cup final win looks like.
Yeah.
We don't
So
seem to fire enough of those players.
Not more players that come in and we hear the line, they need time. They need, do you know what I mean? They need time, or they're for the future. Like, I think that the worrying thing for me was
be patient.
Forget what I think or what you think about Brennan Johnson. I think everyone knows what we think about him. But what was really worrying to read the other week from Postecoglou, and this isn't word for word, I've not got it in front of me, but I remember him saying that, you know, Brennan Johnson was bought for the future and he's played more than they'd expected him to. And I sat there still and I thought to myself, hang on, we just paid 50 million for this bloke. Now, 50 million maybe for Chelsea, for Liverpool, for Man City as a run-of-the-mill player. Spurs don't drop 50 million very often. I mean, how many people have we dropped 50 million on? 4, maybe? Maybe 4 players in our time. What? Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, Ndombele.
Sanchez was 42 million. Lo Celso was.
So just what I mean.
Van de Ven, I think he was about 45. Yeah.
So if your 4th or 5th most expensive signing of all time is coming in, and then your manager, by the way, this is the 4th or 5th most expensive signing, but also an international footballer who has got experience, right? He's not 16 or 18. And then what did you make of that comment that he was bought for the future? Did that worry you when you heard that?
Absolutely scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. We've spent 110 million pounds on Richarlison and Brennan Johnson, and then see what I don't like is when Levy and the club put out a message like this: spending big isn't a guarantee of success. Look at Chelsea, right? Then fans buy into that, and fans will say, we've spent big in the past. It doesn't work. There's no proof that by spending 50, 60 million pounds on a player, they'll be good. And my response is this: spending big isn't an issue. That's not the problem. Spending big badly is the problem. Go and spend 50, 60 million on Kvaratskhelia, Chiesas, Jack Grealish, let's say 80, 90 million. Spend big on quality. This conversation doesn't exist. You're only saying that because we've wasted the money. And then people will say, yeah, but it's not Brennan Johnson's fault he's 50 million. It's not my fault either. It's not my fault either. Well, you know, that's his price tag. So when you spend 50, 60 million pounds, as can't remember who said it, but spot on. When you spend that kind of money, you expect the player to be oven ready. You expect them to be oven ready. Can I
wait 2 years? Off what you just said? I'm asking. It's my channel. Like, I'm going to piggyback off what you just said.
No,
right?
No, you can't.
What I love at the moment is I love that Chelsea are having a difficult couple of years, right? And everybody says, oh, but look, spending doesn't guarantee you. But Chelsea are the most decorated football club of the last 2 decades. And what was thrown at them still was, well, they've only won all these leagues and Champions Leagues and FA Cups and League Cups and World Club Cups because they've spent. So people have to make up their mind. Either money is what makes you good or it's not. It can't be some halfway house when it works, oh, it's only money. And when it doesn't work, oh, money doesn't guarantee it. Do you see what I mean? And the other example I'll give you is look at Man U and Man City in the last decade. They've spent very similar amounts of money on signing players at their 2 clubs. I think there's something like 100 million in it. Like, I know that sounds massive, but that's one player, right, at that level. And look at the difference between Man City and Man United. So it's not spending big. You're spot on. It's spending well. Man City have spent brilliantly. Man United haven't. One's gone like that. The other one's gone like that.
Yeah. And this Chelsea example is so pathetic because, right, let's ignore the 20 years of dominance Chelsea had spending big money. And let's focus on the year and a half of where they've started spending big money badly and used that 1% to justify the 100% of the time No, Chelsea have been phenomenal spending big money for. They're just spending it badly. What you said, perfect example. Man United spend it badly. Man City spend it. It's a perfect example. The new owners of Chelsea don't know what they're doing. They're all over the shop. They're insane. Abramovich, he was bang on the money with the team he put in place, the way they spent the money, and the value they got when they sold players as well. Chelsea, the last 5 years, got mega money for some of the Hazard, over 100 million. The Louise, the centre-back, went for like 50, 60 million. Their goalie went for like 75 million. Chelsea made a lot of money as well. Their transfer policy, actually, the last 5 years of Abramovich was self-sustainable, which is what Spurs want to, don't knock spending big money. Like we're in a league where money talks. We are in a league where money talks. We're not Serie A. We're not League. This is the Premier League. Money talks, and that's how it is.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because if you go, oh, what a great job City have done, people go, oh, only because they get to spend the most money. But then when you say, right, well, Spurs need to spend some money, but there's no guarantee. It's like, well, hang on, which one is it then? What's the other process people want to go down if it's not? And by the way, I'm not saying every player you bring into a football club needs to be 50, 60 million. There's got to be brilliant scouting in there as well. But if you look City, like got a Kanji for 15 million. Yeah, so all right, they can spend 100 million on Jack Grealish, but you've got 15 million for a Kanji, 15 million for a Julian Alvarez. Do you know what I mean?
And, Nathan Ake was cheap as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, Nathan Ake was like 40 million. When you think that's less than we paid for Davinson Sanchez. So yes, you got to spend big, but look, I think the whole thing, going back to the whole Brennan Johnson thing for me, was just about if we're bringing in that player a week after you've sold Harry Kane. I think that, when you contextualize it that way, that makes it look even worse, doesn't it? Now, we know that it's not a case of, oh, you just get Kane money and spend it. I don't like the Kane money phrase. But you've sold Harry Kane. You knew Harry Kane was going. Surely you had to have something lined up that, yeah, you're not going to sign a Harry Kane still, but someone that makes the fans go, yeah, that's a good player. And we just didn't. We didn't.
I've said it 1,000 times till I'm blue in the face. Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson are a big mistake. For me, they're both a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. Just admit it. It happens. Oh, SAVVA, I've got to go.
No, you're all right, mate. Go. Jump. Yeah. I'm going to end the show in a minute anyway.
Right, I'll speak to you later, SAVVA.
Yeah. Rest of the show. Enjoy the game. So people, big up to Rob Brown, who has said, do you think our youth players are that far behind the young talent we're looking to sign? If not, can we really expect these new signings to play? Well, Rob, I do think that's a really interesting point, because if you look at our youth that we want to bring through, so you got people going, oh my God, Santiago's brilliant and Donnelly's brilliant, Lancashire's brilliant. Who's the other one? We've got the other young striker we signed with Chelsea, and his name's gone right out of my mind. Someone let me know in the chat. What's his name? From Chelsea. We got him. Why can't I think of his name? Anyway, Mikey Moore's going to be brilliant. Alfie Devine's going to be brilliant. Scarlett's going to be brilliant. If that's the case, we bought Papa Sarr, who's gone in above all those midfielders. Sun Sok Bell, thank you. We've bought Valise, who's gone in above all those forwards. Sarr, who's gone in there. Bergval's going to go above the others. Phillips, who's going to go above Dorrington. It just feels very much as our youth squad might be good, we just won't give them the minutes, and we want to get better in front of them already. So it does beg the question. Don has said, literally subscribe just to say Stelios is the worst on YouTube. I think Stel speaks a lot of sense. People just don't like it if they want to be in denial. He said he spoke to guys in the club. Yeah, so if you don't know, Stel is a coach and does some coaching with some of the coaches from Tottenham. So that is true. So you can laugh, but you're wrong. Anyway, guys and girls, listen, thank you so much for that super chat, Rob. It's going to be really interesting to see what we do with any of these youngsters getting in above the ones that we're actually buying. Let me know before we go. This is the last chance. Give me your score prediction. The team will be out in about 45 minutes. Give me your score prediction. I'm going to go with a 3-1 to Spurs. If we don't, I will be embarrassed. 3-1 to Spurs I'm going with, and I think it will be Werner left, Son through the middle, and Kulusevski on the right. It will probably be Royale at the back with Udogie, Van de Ven and Romero. And then midfield three, I think he'll probably go Basuma or Bentancur with Maddison and Sarr. So we'll see. Let's have a look at some of these scores before we end the show. And we'll be back at 5 o'clock, by the way, for post-match reaction. So please, please, please join us at 5 o'clock. Finn Brazil has gone with 3-2 to Spurs. Yes, and said Stell was a great guest, valuable insight. I think he talks very, very well about football. But, you know, people are going to like who they like. Some people hate me. They hate Stell. It is what it is. Nuri has gone 2-1 Spurs. Stay Humble has gone 3-1 Spurs. 3-0 Spurs. 2-1 Spurs. 2-1 to Palace from Angus. Big up Alan has said, big up Sam, I hope you're well, mate. Win needed by any means necessary. 2-1 Tottenham. Alan, I want to see a performance. I want to see a performance at last. The Guna 6-6 Scorpio. It's a bit unfair. I think Johnson will come good. Definitely has great potential. I'm not seeing this great potential. I've watched him for years. I don't know what great potential he's got. He's not particularly good at crossing. He's not particularly good on the ball. He's not good dribbling with the ball. He doesn't score many goals. I'm not sure. What is it that you've seen that shows potential? We do this with so many players that it's harsh. And then Spurs never win anything. We never get better. 2-0 to Spurs. 2-2 from the uphill Gardner. 2-2 from Karate. 2-2 from 3 2-2s in a row there. 4-1 to Spurs. 2 each. More 2-2s. Stack Row, big up to you. It's got 2-0 Spurs. 1-1. 3-2 Spurs win. Go 2 up and let them back in as usual. 3-1. Palace are awful. I think it'll be 3-1 as well. 2-1. Big up to Don. Thank you. Keep the subscription. You're welcome. 3-3 from Michael Weir. 2-0 from Finn Rickwood. 2-1 for the Guna Scorpio. Sorry, I think my front door just went. 2-2 for... No, it didn't. Johnson is a boy in a man's game. I agree. Desiree has said a 2-1 and a good performance is a bare minimum. Completely agree with you. 4-2 for Spurs. Phil Coys has gone 4-1 Spurs. At some point, we've got to batter someone. This is completely untrue. Anyone who watches me, I'm sure some of you will back me up right now. If we're talking about Brennan Johnson, I never wanted him at Tottenham Hotspur. So this is a lie. Please don't listen to people like Adam that just lie. Everyone who watches me in here knows I didn't want Brennan Johnson. I've never wanted Brennan Johnson. I want much better than Brennan Johnson. Phil's gone 4-1. Gene Gray with 2-2. 4-0 Palace from the game. 2-1 Spurs from Proud to be a Geordie. 4-2 to Spurs. Pat, Proud to be a Geordie. Don't worry. This guy, Adam's just an idiot. Don't worry about him. He just says nonsense. These are people that when they invented the internet, they shouldn't have let idiots like that come on it. But they did. 2-2 Ratters has said. 3-1 from LD. Would you back Johnson? We're stuck with him. It's not about backing him. I just think we need better. Brennan Johnson will score the odd goal every now and then. Yeah. And people will lose their mind. Like when he scored a tap in the other week against Brighton, everyone went, oh, see what? He scored a tap in. Do you know what I mean? I want proper players if you want to compete. The same fans that call me negative are the same fans that want to back average footballers. Am I negative or are they? Who knows? Mo, big up to you. I said, Dr. Tottenham will treat Crystal FC today. Proud to be a Geordie. Said, hashtag blame SAVVA. Video complete Sofian said, I never wanted Johnson. He's trash. I didn't want him either. It is what it is. Scott has gone with 2-1. Hey, it is what it is. Guys, girls, go and enjoy the game. We'll have the team news out soon. Join me at 5 o'clock for a post-match reaction show as soon as the game finished. John London, just really quickly, has said, I've seen absolutely nothing from Johnson to suggest he'll be anything other than an average player. This is what I don't understand. When people go harsh, think he's got potential. Based on what? I watched him at Forest and he looked like this. But hey, it is what it is. Absolutely, I want better. I've asked for better for years and years and years. I've been called negative for years and years and years. But hey, guys, girls, take care. See you later. We'll see you at 5 p.m. Come on, Spurs. I'm going with 3-1 to Tottenham today. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.